Hello and welcome to Extreme Gameplays, where I play games stylishly. Today's the day I choose violence. Today I'm back with my series called Bad Boss, where I feature a boss fight that I hate for bad mechanics and such. This video is made in collaboration with BigVEE, or as you guys know him, God, the godfather of the God of War franchise. He has written a lot of notes and I decided to combine them with my notes to get this video right here done. Anyways, for a bad boss, today's volunteer is Skorpius from my favorite God of War game of all time. And trust me, it will not be pretty. This guy has so many flaws that we legit don't have the footage for all of them. They just f us up randomly at our best. Follow me today where I talk about the flaws of this horrible boss fight that replaced Sethino, the last Gorgon sister, in God of War 3. Insane, right? So first off, let's explain the basic gimmick that this boss brings and how to beat him and all that. The battle starts and there are two spots where you can damage it, and it's the legs on both sides. Thing is, they're crystals and they can only take damage from the Nemean Cestus weapon. During this fight, Skorpius can switch sides, attack with unblockables, spawn little scorpions and all the good stuff. Breaking 3 legs gets him down where we beat his face for a QTE. Then we have to do that again and this boss is finished and we have to glide up to deliver a fatal blow to finally end the fight. That was an extremely simplified version of how the fight goes, so now let's actually go through the list of flaws that this guy has. He's color-coded. He can't be fought head-on. He has the worst hitboxes in gaming history. He deals too much damage. He has a grab that turns into a slap. He's color-coded. He has a grab that serves no purpose. He is color the fuck coded. He has stupid camera issues. He does not have a checkpoint in between stages. He constantly retreats like a piece of shit. He is color-coded. Now, with the list pointed out, let's talk about what I mean with all of these points that I have in my list. First off, and of course the biggest problem that I kept repeating in the list, he is color-coded. My man's is completely color-coded to be damaged only by the Nemean Cestus, and that's just flat out fucky and weird for any type of design. Especially for God of War 3 that actually got color coding right. God of War 3 is one of the few games that got color coding right. Seeing it botch it this badly with Scorpius just hurts. Usually for other enemies, it's a gimmick of some sort. Flash the siren to expose her and that's it. You can attack her with every other weapon. Break the shields of these guys and they're exposed. You can just attack them with every other weapon that you have. Simple. They somehow botched it with Scorpius that is completely color-coded and you can't hit him with any other weapon. I will get to that later on in the video. It's just baffling for a boss to limit you so that you can only use one weapon in your entire arsenal to damage him. Like, why? Now, there's a little fact that I can tell you about this thing, and is that Rage Mode does work for damaging his legs, but only if you have the Cestus equipped, which is, it shouldn't be that hard, right? But then again, the Rage Mode in God of War 3 sucks for when it comes to damage. It's only good for the early game of God of War 3 and to maybe wail on one big enemy if you're kinda focused on not taking damage and all that. You can kinda get some damage in, but overall the Rage Mode in God of War 3 deals shitty damage. I'm just gonna be flat out clear with you. So there is that. You can damage his legs with the Blade of Olympus if you have the Nemean Cestus equipped. But it's just that it's not really a good thing to even go with, especially when God Mode God have reported that this guy can have some weird oddities where he sends you through the map. That's right, this guy can literally send you through collisions of floors into a ring out that you can't really escape if you're in Rage Mode, so I advise not even using Rage Mode. There's gonna be a lot of other weird oddities like this, so just stay tuned for it. So anyways, we go back to the whole point of him being color-coded. There's still one more problem with that, and is that you can only attack his legs. I know it's a gimmick, but why only the legs? See that big beautiful fuck face? Well, you can't hit him until you bring him down by breaking his legs. Point is, color coding an entire boss is bad. If you're persistent on making it, then there needs to be a lot of tweaking. And tweaking this boss did not get. You and I must be tweaking if you think this boss is consistent with the rest of the things we have here on the list. Let's cover them. There's just a lot of endless flaws with this boss that is just, it's even funny how bad it is. Like, killing this boss gives us Bing chilling. I mean, for fuck's sake, Bing chilling. That's all we get, not even a weapon, just Bing chilling. But that's besides the point. Let's continue. The next big flaw with this mofo is his hitbox. This guy seems to hit you even though you're certain you dodged at the right time. This is why you see pro players like me and Haristo just flat out get out of there when he's going for a huge slam or a swipe that we can dodge in time, hopefully, or anything like that. We so rarely try to actually dodge it using our dodging option for, you know, for iframes and all that. This guy's hitboxes all feel like they're lingering hitboxes all around. The, you know, constant hitboxes that are still gonna be active even after you avoid them. It's just shitty design for this guy's attacks. And speaking of attacks, this is especially shitty for the type of attacks that he does. This big ass swipe that deals 100 damage on very hard is just shit. 100 damage means your entire level 1 health bar, by the way. So if you're doing a no upgrade run plus or pain plus run, kiss that health bar goodbye.
Baba Booey.
You guys do not believe how much I want to punch my monitor, kick my monitor right now. This guy has no right to damage me this much. No right. He's not Zeus. He's not Poseidon. He's not Hercules. He's not Hades. I'm not Thanos. This fucker has no right to damage me this much. His attacks are shitty. You can't jump over it consistently and you can't dodge it safely. It's basically a death sentence the moment you see some of his attacks. The best way I've found to avoid taking this hit he's doing right here is dodging towards Skorpius himself. But even then, that's not really the safest thing. You still have the chance of dying. The issues with the hitbox never end. Couple that with the crazy damage that he deals and you have a recipe for disaster. Attacks that fuck. Attacks that kill you and start you back at the beginning, which is something I'll get to in a couple of seconds. Skorpius just has a lot of design issues that me and other pro players just get around at our best. We just adapt, but do acknowledge the shittiness in the boss. As it does catch me or some other pro players, I'm saying vets off guard with unexpected shit from time to time. With all the flaws in here, great suggestions are always given to fix this though. BigVEE has millions of solutions or, you know, tweakings that can be done to the types of attacks and, you know, to kind of remedy the shittiness of this boss in the comment that is going to be pinned after this video. It's going to be his entire script that you can read it for your own self if you're kind of interested in the boss fight. Like there's one of BigVEE's ideas for this attack that deals 70 damage is for us to punch it by going below and behind him so that he kills his own little scorpions. But no, fuck you. The same way everyone else gives suggestions, like Hristos Zimnas has a very creative idea for this tooth that we take away for the first QTE that takes us to the other stage. Hristos' idea was to actually use this tooth against the scorpion himself, against the little bugger. Hristos' idea for this tooth was to actually use it against the big bug, kind of like how we used Colossus' hand against him in that last phase. And that is honestly a really nice idea. Maybe use this tooth to instantly break one of the fucker's legs. Or maybe for it to kind of stay down while we can wail at, you know, one side of the legs and all that. Why not? A lot of design ideas can be given and have been given, but it's kind of too late now, which is just sad. They're mainly stuff that could have been, but here we are. We have other stuff like hitting his exposed legs to consistently stop him from spawning little scorps. We also have decreasing his fucking damage output, fixing his hitboxes so that dodging is at least a thing to consider, keeping the color coded shit but at least make it more consistent with our attacks. You know, we want more attacks to connect. And overall, allow us to damage him head on and with some other weapons, please. And finally, this is the most important one. Give a purpose / tweak his horrible grab that he has. This is a nice segue to the next point, his grab. Let's start with the first obvious thing, and is that his grab simply does nothing for us. Especially when talking about us being able to reverse it with something that looks like it's damaging when it's actually not. Escaping this grab and slamming his face does literally nothing, little to nothing. It's not even like he stays down for like 10 seconds for us to, you know, punish and hit his legs or anything. No, nothing. And this fucker can spam this shit sometimes all he fucking wants. Usually when fighting a boss fight in God of War, boss grabs have purposes when reversed, and the philosophy is that they deal damage back to the idiot that grabbed us, and you know, when they thought they could damage us, we reverse that to damage them. It has been a thing for a hot minute now in God of War, and I don't understand why they decided to not do anything with this one right here this time. Especially when it looks like it's supposed to stun him and keep him down for us to, you know, hit his legs or something. Or to flat out, even better, damage him in a way. There's absolutely no reason why they didn't go with the same philosophy of grabs. You know, when a boss grabs you, you know that when you reverse it, you're damaging the thing. But no, like the simplest approach could have been just, you know, after this initial slam that Kratos does, we should have our turn now. We should, you know, we can, you know, move to a side and just beat up his legs to infinity and beyond. Maybe not to infinity, I'm just saying like 10 seconds or something for us to get our punish in. But no, you get sometimes some bad RNG. This guy can just loop his grab constantly and it just turns into shit, especially for stage 2, and I'll get to that in a second. But for now, the grab is utterly useless and it breaks the pace for no reason. He just grabs you and you escape the grab. That's it. That's literally it. Now we get to the even shittier side of his grab, and it's that it has a special shitty property where it turns into a hit that one-shots you with a level 1 meter. That's right, he has a hit that one-shots you. It deals 100 damage. Your ass is basically toast when you're touched by the almighty foul tip, as BigVEE likes to call it. The foul tip is the same grab that you know of, except when you're far away from Skorpius. Basically, if you're close to him, this animation grabs you. If you're far away, however, it turns into a hit that damages you. It's no longer a grab. Until we make it to stage 2 and this property is thrown out the window because the fucker turns the whole thing into the hit you know of. Even if you're close, the quote-unquote grab kills you with one hit starting from stage 2. You don't even have to be far. Simply being in its way means you're fuckage. Why? Fuck do I know? Ask the designer. This would have still been excusable if the fucking hitbox wasn't as bad as it is. See, it's like everything works together to give you a shitty experience. It's honestly wonderful how someone managed to design this boss to just be this shitty all around. Everything is working in tandem and ad nauseum against you, and it's just beautiful. Honestly, it's philosophical. I adapt. Everyone else can adapt. It's not so horrible as other stuff, other spots, and other God of War games that I can name right now. But it's just a horrible boss fight that I cannot excuse. I always am good against him, but you know, he catches me off guard with stuff that I hate. Starting from stage 2, a checkpoint would have been welcome. They did give a checkpoint when starting from this part where he's basically done, and it's the Icarus vent, but that's literally all you get for checkpoints on this shitty, horrible boss that his phases can drag out. I'll get to it in a second. Bosses in God of War are designed to have checkpoints. They're like segmented fights or encounters that have checkpoints so that you're not completely punished to go back to the start, because some boss fights in God of War are just long. They just take long. This is one of them, and he doesn't have a checkpoint for his second stage. Shitty. What's more are some obscure issues like camera issues. See, when he's taken down like this, the game starts getting active and the little scorpions can actually hit you and you can't see yourself. In this transition, while you can't see your character, you better off start jumping fast or else you get clapped by 50 scorpions taking turns on you like mad uncles at Christmas parties in Ohio. It can get scary when it happens, but when it happens, make sure you learn from it and to never repeat the same mistake of just trying to wait for the camera to pan back to your character, because that's how action works. With that out of the way, this little bug is a coward. I hate this retreat attack that Skorpius does with the passion of 50 Cory bar logs. This guy can essentially spam this as much as he wants with no way to actually interrupt him. He can also hit you, but the hit does not damage, thankfully. You have some attempts where you're fighting him and he rarely does it, like he does it once, maybe twice, ever rarely. And then you have another fucking attempt where he just spams the shit 15 times back to back. You just can't make this shit up. It's totally random. We can't interrupt it. We don't know what causes it, and we don't know if he does it a lot or does not do it a lot, and it's just bad. Like, you have some times where he does it twice. You have some other times where he does it 10 times. Like, why? It's especially annoying when he does it back to back. You'll see when you play God of War 3 for Mastery. This retreat should have been interruptible. Make us hit his tail or something. There is no need for this time stalling bullshit that he's doing. I seriously wish I could go back in time to stop whoever designed this fight. I know it was a canon event, but like, I could give zero fucks about this boss fight being in the game or not. It's especially tragic when we know that Skorpius replaced Sethino, the last Gorgon sister. Imagine finding the third and last Gorgon sister in this game. Instead, we got an Ascension. It's multiplayer. Fuck this boss! The point of this video is not that I'm bad at fighting this guy. Hell, put the two of us in a ring and I'll show you who knocks who out. It's just that I can't overlook these flaws that he has, and I had to make this video. No one who seeks mastering God of War, no one who plays God of War a lot can excuse this guy's fucking issues. It's just a lot of shit. with hitboxes, with damage, with inconsistencies. These are the three things that we all hate. We of course adapt, we get better at fighting him, but that doesn't make this boss any better. BigVEE has countless suggestions to make this boss better, and they are pretty promising. Stuff like his claws having crystals that we can break to decrease their damage. See, you can just get creative with stuff. That and basically the same thing with its tail. Maybe do something and break a crystal on the tail to flat out disable tail slams and attacks for the entire fight or for a short period of time. Maybe do something creative to kind of disallow him to spawn little scorpions that are infinite and are annoying, and they can combo wombo you to death like crazy uncles on a Christmas party. I don't know, some shit I said a couple of minutes ago. And of course, this last point that I mentioned where BigVEE said something about breaking, you know, the crystals on one of its claws, or both the claws, you know, having crystals, or, you know, the same thing with the tail to prevent some, you know, slam attacks that have shitty hitboxes and all that. Takes us back to the Kraken, where breaking one of the knobs disabled this knob attack that it does. It's like, see, you can get creative like that. The Kraken has a lot of design choices that could have worked amazingly on the Skorpius, but they just decided to not do that. With all that said, with all these flaws being laid out on the table, I just wanted to let you guys know that there are just millions of other oddities that can happen in this fight, and they are all annoying. It's just that there are a lot of stuff that have happened throughout history that we don't quite have the footage for, especially for BigVEE. If you actually read BigVEE's comment, you'll come to know how fucky things can really get. You never get hit with these things quite often, but when they happen, it just sucks so bad. And that's why this guy's in the bad boss episode today. Now, contrary to anyone who's been watching right now, this boss does have some good stuff. Features like hitting Skorpius' exposed legs to prevent spawns is cute. The boss is visually good looking and has a crunch to him. I also do like that with enough mastery, he's not a roadblock or anything by any means. He just might kill me once or twice, and then in the third time I might get him, so that's at least good. He's not completely broken, and he's not like a complete wall to go by in the game. It's like, it's still good. But with even all of that said, I can never say that I like this boss ever. Like, even the music is pretty mid, bro. Like, and that's insane, saying that to God of War that nails nearly every single soundtrack and every single segment. The music is kind of mid here. It reuses some instruments from the Poseidon boss fight, or from the gauntlet that happens later on. It's just not that great for some reason. And overall, yeah, this boss is a sucky baka. We don't even get anything from him. Not that we needed anything, really. God of War 3 Kratos is as complex as a motherfucker. We really don't need anything, but it would have been amazing to get something after killing this fucking horrendous boss fight. Something that BigVEE suggested. An alternative to petrification. Maybe instead of trying to petrify enemies, we freeze them, kind of like God of War Ascension and what it did, or God of War 4 and what it did with the Leviathan axe. Easy. Except we get Boreas Ice Storm that is just a key to unlock the labyrinth. That's it! That's it? That's fucking it? Come on! My Kratos is always complex. I love him. But imagine. Just imagine. And so yeah, that's Skorpius from God of War 3 that I shredded through in today's Bad Boss episode. Huge thanks to BigVEE for sharing the extra notes and observations. Really helpful. With all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and the content on the channel. Make sure to check out all the videos on the channel. They're all God of War if you enjoy them. I make God of War and Devil May Cry content. It has been your Extreme Gamer Zesty. Peace. This is the worst boss in the world.